Morning, RaptorFreak Alexiot here. Tuesday morning, so it's time for Tuesday trivia. Just real quick before we start, I usually do about 10 minutes of house cleaning. A couple different subjects to talk about, daily Raptors kind of stuff. First of all, they did the Coach of the Year voting, and Nick Nurse actually did get some votes for Coach of the Year. He got one second place vote and one third place vote, ended up getting eighth in the Coach of the Year race, tying with Chris Finch of Minnesota Timberwolves, his former assistant. So there you go. Nick Nurse actually did get some Coach of the Year votes, one second place vote and one third place vote for 8 points in the whole scheme of things with the Coach of the Year. But Monty Williams of Phoenix Suns ended up winning that award. Also, it has been confirmed in the last couple of days that Nikola Jokic will be the MVP this year, even though it's not officially been announced yet. But it's pretty much for sure at this point that Jokic is going to win it over Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Very interesting games last night. Milwaukee was in the driver's seat last night on Boston, and Giannis did something to piss Al Horford off before the end of the game. He made a dunk and then he looked at him in a weird way, which really motivated Horford to go off and really motivate the Celtics to come back and win that game and tie up the series, which is now 2-2. Both teams winning on each other's courts at least once and then winning one on their own court also. And also Golden State taking a 3-1 lead over Memphis last night. Very interesting stuff. Now in the hey, good morning, Sue. Good to see you, Sue. I hope you're here to play trivia. It's going to be a good trivia day. All answers are going to be worth 50 points. So you can clean up today. If G's not here, G, you probably are here. But I'm gonna ramp up the points just to have some sort of chance to possibly try and catch up with you, G. So 50-point answers today. All right, just real quick, another thing that's been talked about today a lot is Rudy Gobert. Now, listen, this to me feels like something similar to what's happened with the LA Lakers nation recently with the Raptors nation, is that they try to put this story out about Nick Nurse, which was unfounded, had no truth to it in any kind of way. So it's once again, I feel like Utah Jazz Nation is trying to do something with Gobert at this point, and they're really pushing these trade rumors. They're saying that the Raptors are interested in him and are inquiring about him. That may be true, but it may not be that it's a very realistic thing to happen. Listen, Bobby Webster, if you are thinking about trading any one of our important core guys from this past year in exchange for Rudy Gobert, which you would have to, I would really caution you to think twice. Right now, the chemistry on our team is so good right now. The guys really get together, and they need more time to grow together. And I'd hate to see you ship off somebody like OG Anunoby or somebody to Utah to them for Rudy Gobert. I just don't like the deal. I mean, I know that he's still a really good double-double machine. He's a good shot blocking threat. He's an all-star. There's a lot of different things about him that are really good. But also, to me, in some ways, he's the antithesis of what Fred and Pascal are. Is these guys work so hard, and once they got their big money contracts, they didn't rest on their laurels. They continue to get better and better and work extremely hard. And it's not that I don't know enough about Rudy Gobert to understand, but I'm not seeing his game move up any higher. In fact, he's 29 years old at this point. He's a big man. He's more likely to decline in the next few years. And it could be that Utah's seen the writing on the wall, that he's under a super max contract with them for long term, and that they're trying to reshuffle their whole team. It started with trading guys at the trade deadline this past year. Joe Ingles out the door, different people going this way and that way, and they're trying to totally reshuffle their team. And they want to do it at our detriment, is what it seems like to me. So I'm saying I don't want to hear these Utah Jazz rumors. I mean, it's one thing to talk about Mitchell and the possibilities with that, but Gobert in some ways is off the table for me. It's just he has such a huge, monstrous contract that we don't want to be liable for. It's like they're on the hook for it right now, and they're trying to find a sucker to come in and take the hook for it now afterwards, because it's really not allowing their team to have very much flexibility. It's very similar to the things with Anthony Davis and the Los Angeles Lakers, as far as his contract is so huge that it really makes it so hard for them to make different moves, any kind of big moves to help. And they're kind of stuck in the position that Shaq and Charles were saying we're stuck in. Is basically Utah is stuck in that position. And that's the way that they're trying to change it. So I highly do not recommend any kind of deal for Rudy Gobert. I don't care how attractive it looks, especially if it's involving any of our champion Raptors, and if it's involving like 2 or 3 of our core Raptors. It's just not worth it. And I hope that they're really not too serious about it. Maybe they're exploring the ideas of what could be possible, but I don't want them to pull the trigger unless they're absolutely sure that it is the right move, because I don't want to sacrifice good players on our team and our mobility as a team and our switchability just to get Rudy Gobert, because he's a slower guy in some ways, and it'll change the way our team plays in a lot of different ways. It may help us in some ways, but listen, he's not going to help us with the shooting on the outside, and he's not going to help us with our getting up and down on the court. So I'm not into this move at all. So G is here. This is good. Sue's saying no to Gobert if we have to give up our key guys. She agrees with that. And he has a massive contract. He really does. He has a crazy big contract, and it's the Supermax. And listen, we don't want to tie up our Supermax on him. We want to have our Supermax available in the future for, maybe somebody like Scotty or something like that. So Tom Duke is here. Good morning. No thanks to the huge Frenchman. Past his prime. Surprised he didn't work with Mitchell. Yeah, he's really talented. Like, honestly, like a couple years ago, I would have loved to have Rudy Gobert on our team, but for some reason, his reputation in the league isn't the same anymore. And the way that Utah's trying to discard him is very telling in that kind of way and stuff like that. And all right, so G's saying, why is it we usually are associated with these trade rumors, the Toronto Raptors? Well, part of it is that they just expect us. It's kind of like, I don't know, if I got to really watch out with this analogy. It's kind of like when you have a bunch of you're a little kid and you're at a birthday party, and there's 30 kids at the birthday party, and all the kids except for one of them is a weird foreign kid who just came to the party and isn't really fitting in with the other kids. He's new, he's maybe a little bit different, but he's foreign. And the other kids' parents, the mother who's making the cakes and putting out the cake pieces and stuff like that, they're giving it out to everybody the same, the 29 other kids. But then the last kid, there isn't enough for the foreign kids. So he kind of gets the shaft. It's a little bit of that kind of mentality, that we're different and that, maybe we can change or manipulate them. One of the things is that they wish that we had less intelligent management, that if we had like idiots running the team, they would try and do a lot of these moves to us and make us take on these players, this garbage from other teams more often. But because we have Masai in charge, they can't put things over on us like they could in the past. Like, really, if you look at the Vince Carter deal for Alonzo Mourning and Williamses, that was a fleecing. That was basically a huge fleecing by the Nets on us in that deal. And we never want that to happen to us again. So this is the kind of stuff that it smacks of, is this kind of thing and stuff like that. So let me see what else you guys are saying, and then we'll get into trivia. I'm glad there's a lot of you here. We're going to be playing trivia today, and I want y'all to get some points and try and compete with G for this practice jersey I've got here. This is a old school Toronto Raptors practice jersey from probably around 2007, 2008. And it's got Jerome Williams, the Junkyard Dog, signed it. And the winner of the trivia is going to get it. So let me see what you guys are saying still real quick. Sue says the media always tries to push these big contract guys who are coming off of non-performing teams so they can get their hands on OG or Pascal. They think we're chumps. We're not. Yeah, that's exactly it. Sue's got it right. They want to push problem guys, big contracts on us, and then get our good stuff in return and fleece us. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that. No, we're not. Everybody's saying what's up to each other. Click 2 a.m.'s here. Good to see you, Click. Good to see you, Tom. Good to see you, Rahul. Rahul's saying Raptors management never leak at news other than Scotty Barnes. yeah, we're really good about keeping things in house. We don't show our hand. We don't talk about things. That's the whole thing with the Kawhi DeMar move. We had no idea that was coming, and that's why it was partly so shocking. Yeah, and the only thing was like, yeah, we're saying we're going to take Scotty Barnes. We're such badasses. That was not what they wanted us to do. Click saying Gobert won't fit. If we like to switch a lot on D, he can't guard the perimeter. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly part of the big problem with getting Gobert. It's like, sure, we get that rim protection. Sure, we get the center everybody's been crying out for a couple of years now. But at what cost? What cost do we want to pay to get Rudy Gobert like this? We don't want to pay some crazy cost like this. I really like the wave of the future that we're seeing on the Raptors, and we don't want to destroy it just by getting a huge franchise center like this. Because he's not the type of center that I actually want, honestly. Sue saying, hey to Rahul. Click saying, on offense, he's a lob threat, and that's it. His playmaking's not that great, and he has no post-up game. Yeah, it's like he should be averaging more points than just in the mid-teens. Like he really could if he was more dominant. He could be more like Joel Embiid, but his offensive game is limited in a lot of different ways. And if he was a little bit more Joel Embiid, maybe I would be like, yeah, let's do it. But he has none of the offense that Joel has at this point. Rahul's saying he's limited on offense. He's getting paid 38 for not being a main focal point on offense. Yeah. There's a lot of good points for why we shouldn't do it. And I think most Raptor fans are in this camp that they don't like the idea of getting Gobert at this point. It's, they understand the cost and they don't think it's worth it. And there are some that are really big on it and trying to champion it and stuff. It's hilarious. There was one Jazz fan on Twitter yesterday asking us if we trade them Siakam and Barnes for Rudy Gobert straight up. That's what they want. They want Siakam and Barnes for Gobert. I'm like, you're dreaming. You are dreaming. Oh my gosh. Chris comes here. Good to see Chris come. I'll take Mo Bamba for half the price. Exactly. This is the kind of thinking. This is the smart kind of thinking because Bamba will be able to do a lot of the things we do want to have. And he will be able to be switchable. And we don't really care about the offensive stuff as much. But if you're going to pay that much, you better be getting some good offense, is what I'm saying. Tom Duke saying, I believe he's eligible for it. Is Pascal going to get an increased extension, 3 years, $130 million? I don't know about the extensions for our guys currently, like Fred and Pascal, the player extensions right now. I don't know if we're going to do it now or if we're going to wait. I'm sure that Bobby and them are talking with them and figuring out where maybe the best impact for the team salary wise with the timing of it. With Fred and Pascal, because they're team guys. They're going to go ahead and do it in a way that'll help the team with their maneuverability with the cap. That's part of the reason why Fred's deal that he's on right now was so backloaded. He had his first couple of years of this new contract he's on right now have less paying than the later years in his contract. He's actually going to make more in his later years just because he wanted to allow them to have cap space to go get Giannis Antetokounmpo if he didn't re-sign the Supermax with Milwaukee Bucks. So, yeah, I don't know when the timing will be. And honestly, I think that it's not going to really matter in some ways. Maybe it will and maybe it won't. Like maybe if they need to wait another year and see how their roles change in the year that's coming up, and then they figure it out then. But that's a good question, Tom. Alistair's here. He's saying Marc Gasol was a liability too, but we won. I'll take Cousins. Listen, we've gotten worse and turned out our back on a few. Why can't we let whatever bad blood go for him? You want DeMarcus Cousins? Yeah, I mean, listen, I felt like he's been washed the last couple of years. Like that last little stint with the Lakers a couple times, he just looks so bad, and he just doesn't look like he's the same kind of player. It's an interesting idea. I don't even know about the bad blood we have with him. It's just to me, he's a knucklehead in some ways on the court in different ways. Let me just real quick go through these, and then we'll get in the trivia, guys. Click saying Utah Jazz Reddit has their fans talking about Scotty and Pascal for Gobert, and they said they would win. We would win that trade. That's hilarious. There's no way we would do that. Like Pascal himself, maybe straight up for Gobert, but don't even start talking about our big Roy, Scotty Barnes. He's not on the trade table in any kind of way. This is going to be this kind of thing because people are going to see his rookie excellence this year. They're going to see who he could possibly become, and all these other teams are going to be throwing crazy deals at us for trying to get Scotty Barnes, and it'll be their fans with their crazy fan fiction. Click 2AM Mo Bamba is intriguing. He's very intriguing. I like that he's taller than our other guys, and he's a good shot blocker. And I love that he's really quick on his feet also. So he's a great fit. He's actually somebody high on my list for looking at. And you know what? Let's talk about that this tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Thursday Think Tank. We're going to really talk about maybe we can talk about either the draft or free agency, because I've looked at a lot of prospects for the draft, and I'm also looking at the free agency list and really pinpointing which free agents might be the best fit with the Raptors and what we want to do. G saying, yeah, they want Scotty, and saying they will take Pascal's contract as if they're doing the Raps a favor. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, they're hilarious, G. It's kind of like comedy. You know, you watch late night TV for comedy shows. Well, just go on Twitter and listen to Utah Jazz Fan today about what they think they can do with Rudy Gobert and what they can get back from the Raptors. Hilarious. Alistair saying, we don't need a center, just a bench. I'll trade Fred for one or depth. Yeah, still not trading Fred. Everybody's still talking about wanting to trade Fred, but no, he's important. He's got the blueprint. He's got the Goonies treasure map that tells us how to get to the gold again. So he's the one holding the treasure map. We can't send Fred anywhere. But yeah, I don't think the center is absolutely that necessary. That's why this deal is so crazy, because the people that are desperate are the Utah Jazz fans. We're not desperate in any kind of way. We could just stay the way we are. We don't need to make this move. They're the ones that are desperate, trying to unload him, Rudy Gobert. So yeah, why would we want to do this and help them and bail them out? We don't need to do anything. We can just go get a second-rate center in the free agency market this summer and some shooters, and we'll be very good next year. So yeah, Click saying Bamba can stretch the floor and we can make him an even better shooter. He can protect the paint and he's a threat on offense. There's a lot of things about Bamba that I really like. He's a true athlete and he can really run the court. That is the main thing. It's like you want that good combination of a little bit of strength and really good length for shot blocking and rim protection, but also the ability to get up and down the court really fast. And that is something we want. And that is something that Bamba's got. Rahul saying, I'd rather make a run at Ayton or Bamba. Yeah. I mean, Ayton, I don't think he's realistic. I mean, he's in the thick of it still right now with the Suns, and they love him. He's a big part of their team and their championship aspirations. So Ayton's probably way off the table. But because I bet you money, Phoenix is going to re-sign him to the max that they can keep him and retain him. But Mo Bamba is a fantastic idea. We'll have to see how restricted Orlando wants to be with him this summer, because he is a restricted free agent. They can match whatever offer gets sent to Mo Bamba, but hopefully maybe they don't. Maybe they have an idea about what they want to do. Some people are saying because Franz Wagner's there with Mo Wagner and they have other centers that they don't really need Mo Bamba and that they might let him walk. Rahul's saying every team overvalues their players, especially us. I'll say Scotty Barnes right now is a way better player than Rudy Gobert. Look at both players' contracts. Barnes' value is a steal. Well, he's on a rookie contract, Rahul. And, Rudy Gobert is on a supermax contract. It's just at different places in their career. The promise of Scotty Barnes is probably worth way more than Rudy Gobert at this point. And that's what we need to think about. It's promise that's not fulfilled yet, but it's promise that's definitely there. And that's the thing that's so attractive about Scotty, is that nobody understands his promise or his ceiling. And that's why they want him. They see the tools. Now that he's a rookie of the year, it's even more attractive to them. And that Magic's touched him with his touch, is saying, you are a Magic right now in the league, then that's even more attractive to people, especially the Laker Nation. They're going to be really wanting him. Watch. Rahul's saying, if they want Pascal, they would have to attach Rudy Gobert picks in a young player. Yeah, I don't even want to get too mired in these details, because I feel like a lot of this is silly. And that if they are going to put any kind of deal that makes sense, that Bobby Webster will be really making sure that we get the best for it and that we're not giving up too much. Alistair saying Ingles, Gobert, and a first for Fred. Yeah, Joe Ingles is gone. They traded him to Portland. He's not even on the Jazz anymore. That's the signal to me that the Jazz are trying to retool, rebuild. And that's why they're willing to talk about trading Gobert and Mitchell this summer, like way more. Rahul's saying Rudy Gobert contract is probably the worst contract in NBA history. That's not true either, because they're actually getting value from him, and he's an all-star. And I've seen guys get that money, and they don't do jack shit. I mean, look at Kawhi. In some ways, I would argue that Kawhi's contract is kind of worse because of the value that Steve Ballmer is getting from him as far as how many games he's played since he's been on the Clippers. I think he's sat 2 out of 3 years for them, and he's still getting paid a lot of money. So I would maybe say that Kawhi or maybe Ben Simmons this season were the worst. Let's see. G saying we can keep our core and still add talent, in my opinion. Yeah, we don't need a big splash. We don't need a big home run like a Rudy Gobert move. It's silly. Yeah. And then Rahul's saying, do you think the Raps should overpay a little bit to scare Orlando off from paying him? Well, maybe that may be a good sound strategy by Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri. It'll be interesting. And then Alistair saying, but how are we going to handle Embiid next year? Listen, we may not have to play him. There's a lot of things that can change. There's a lot of things that can happen. How we're going to stop him? Well, I don't think anybody can really stop him. I think that that's the thing. Is like what we need to understand is there's no just like solid answer to say, oh, you can just stop Joel Embiid. I don't think that's possible. I don't think any team in this league can stop Joel Embiid in a lot of ways. So what we need to understand is who's tempering him and slowing him down the best. And I feel like we've done a good job of that. There's been games where he scores in the teens. There's been games where he scored 0 points against us in the last couple of years. So I think out of all the teams in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors actually deal with Joel Embiid better than most teams in the league. And that you can see it by the stats he has against our team, the amount of turnovers that he coughs up, but he's still going to get his to a certain level. That's what we have to understand. So there's no goal to just absolutely stop Joel Embiid by getting personnel this summer, because that's impossible. That would be like going for the impossible dream in some ways. And it's not worth putting in the assets and stuff to try and get that. And we're getting the same results. Just imagine if we did go get a certain center or a big center just to stop Embiid, and then he's a failure at it next year, that he does just as well as what we already had against him. That's what I'm saying. I think our look of having 2 or 3 power forward kind of centers around him and bothering him is the best strategy for how to deal with him, instead of trying to have one big guy that tries to contain him himself. Because the problem is Embiid is talented enough to beat a one big guy against him one-on-one. And that's not the answer to me. It's not the answer. G saying Raps actually did a good job with Embiid. Raps shooting was horrible. Yeah, we could shot better against Philadelphia. We won the first round. There's all kinds of things that would have won us the first round against the Sixers if they had just gone a little differently. And that necessarily wasn't the thing that killed us, was Joel Embiid's dominance in some ways. Rahul's saying, but as a Raps fan, I don't want to see the Raps paying both Freddie and Pascal max money. Well, they probably won't have to. I mean, it depends. It depends on how things are. I mean, Fred's got a pretty good contract for who he is at this point. Pascal's getting what he's getting because he deserves it. So it's really the number crunching and the figure out the slices of the pie and stuff like that. That's Bobby Webster's job. He's going to figure it out. And if these guys value playing for us and they can make it work with the money and the numbers, I say keep them here as long as we can. And we shouldn't get bogged down in this whole idea of paying max contracts to guys and things like that and thinking maybe they're not worth it. I don't think Fred is a max contract guy. Actually, I don't think he will get max contracts offered from other teams or even from us, that he's just going to get like a very fair contract, but not necessarily the max like Pascal got. Now, Pascal needs to get a max because he's going to be all NBA and he's a different kind of player than Fred. So, yeah, Rahul's saying they have to choose between them and who they want to pay the max money. It looks like Freddie wants another max extension. Well, like I said, we'll see. I don't want to get too bogged down in this kind of stuff right now because it's trivia, baby. And let's go ahead and get started. We got like 15 people here. Like last week, we're going to do fouls. So if you guess a wrong answer, I'm giving you a foul. You get 6 fouls, you foul out. So today's trivia is all about the 2021-2022 regular season for the Toronto Raptors. So I'm looking at the statistics from the season, not from the playoffs. We're just talking about the season today. So let's go ahead and get started if y'all are ready. There's a lot of people here. G saying, I think the word max throws people off. Sixers have a super max, another super max, and a max contract with Tobias. Drew and Middleton are max too. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah. Rahul, don't get bogged down in the term max, because you can have a lot of guys maxed out on your contracts. And there's a super max, there's a regular max, and then there's this max and max and max and max, stuff like that. So, all right, Tom's ready. He has fouls to give. He's going to use his fouls, is what he's saying. All right, so question number 1 today on Tuesday Trivia is, guys, it's real easy. We're going to start real easy, but the later ones are going to be hard, so save your fouls for later. Which Toronto Raptor scored the most points in the regular season for last season? Who was it? Write it in and you get the 50 points right now. We're playing right now. You put the wrong person, though. I'm giving you a foul. Click says Fred. You're wrong. Click, why'd you say Fred? That is wrong. No, who had the most points? Raymond Jacob got it. He got Pascal. So I call the whistle as soon as somebody gets it. All right, Raymond Jacob, you get it? Of course it's Pascal. I had to start with the easiest one. Raymond's getting the first 50. All right, listen, second question. Which Toronto Raptor led the team in assists for this past year? That's total assists, not assists per game. Who had the most assists total for the Raptors this season? G said Fred, and he got it. It is Fred VanVleet. Good job, G. That's 50 points for you. Did you say it first, Sue? No, Fred. Yeah, G said it first. Okay, G got it first. Okay. All right, number 3. Which Raptor led the team in turnovers? Which Raptor had the most turnovers this season? Like, who turned the ball over? Fred had how many? Fred had 434 assists this past season. Click says Precious. No, Click. I'm giving you a second foul. You got 2 fouls. You're in foul trouble. G, you're getting a foul also for OG. It's not who had the most turnovers, guys. Rahul's saying Achua, you're going to get a foul also. You guys are off here. Click saying Chris. No, that's another foul. Rahul's saying Gary. That's a foul also. Guys, who would have the most turnovers on the team? Who is handling the ball the most that would turn the ball over? I thought this would be an easy answer. Sue said Fred. No, it's not Fred. You guys are so close. Rahul saying Fred. No, that's a third foul. Watch out, Rahul. You got halfway there. Who would have turned the ball? Yes, I am Shanky comes in and gets it. It is Pascal. Of course it's Pascal. Pascal had the most turnovers this year because he handled the ball the most. So I am Shanky on the board coming in again. Is that a wrestling reference? The Shanky thing? Isn't that something in wrestling right now? I am Shanky. Silly. All right. The fourth question is, which Raptor grabbed the most offensive rebounds this season? Who grabbed the most offensive rebounds? Who was on the offensive boards the most for the Raptors this season? G saying Boucher. You guys are both wrong. G and Raymond, you're both getting fouls, so be careful. Click's right. Click got it. It's Scotty. Scotty Barnes got the most offensive rebounds total for the team this year. So good job, Click. And I blow the whistle after somebody gets it. So none of these other ones are fouls afterwards. So good job, Click. Question number 5. Which Toronto Raptor grabbed the most rebounds total for the whole season? Who had the most rebounds total? That's offensive and defensive together. All right, go ahead and answer now. Who had the most total rebounds? Scotty had the most offensive rebounds. Who had the most total rebounds? Sue says Chris. No, it's not Chris. And Rahul, it's not Chris. G is saying Pascal, and that's right. It is actually Pascal. He got the most rebounds also. So G got that one. Good job. All right, question number 6. Which Raptor led the team in block shots? Who led the team in block shots? Question number 6. These are pretty easy. Like, if you really think about who would make sense on these, you're going to get them right. Mar Smith is in. First one. Mar Smith, good job. She got Chris Boucher. That is right. Chris did get the most blocks. So, Mar, you're on the board for the first time this season. Good job. All right. So, next question, number 7. Which Raptor led the team in committing fouls? Who had the most fouls on the team this past season? Rahul, it's all timestamped, so I can see it by whoever has like posted it first. And I saw that Click had answered Chris for the last question. So I'm really trying to do this as legitimately as possible. So who committed the most fouls? Alistair says Boucher. That is wrong. That's your first foul, Alistair. Who had the most fouls? G says Pascal, and that's right. That is right. It is Pascal. All right, let me see. Where am I with that? Number 7, Pascal. Yep, G. All right. Good job, G. All right, question number 8. Which Raptor led the team in steals this season? Who had the most total steals for the Raptors this year? This is easy. These are easy questions. Who had the most steals? Gary. Click 2 AM's got it. It is Gary, of course. Of course, it's Gary. He was in the league leaders for the season. So yeah, of course. Good job, G. I mean, good job, Gary. I see it because it's timestamped. They're all in a row. I know you said it too, Rahul, but it's whoever gets it first. You have to be the first on there. It's like on my board, I have Click first, then Rahul, then Mar, then Sue, then G, even though he said Gaddy, and then Raymond is last. So it's who gets it first. You got to be like, it's like Press Your Luck or Family Feud. You know, you got to get it first. All right, let's see. The next question is, which Raptor got blocked the most this season? Which one of the Raptors got their shot blocked the most times this season? They got the shot blocked 61 times this season. You can tell me which Raptor you think that is. Nobody's in too serious trouble. Rahul's got 4 fouls, though. You're saying Fred, Click? Oh, wait. Rahul's saying OG first. That's a foul. Click's saying Fred. That is a foul also. Alistair, you're getting a foul for Fred. Click's saying Malachi. That's another foul. You got one more, Click, you're out. So be careful. You got 5 fouls. Think about it. It's once again, it's a usage thing. Yes, G, you got it. It is Pascal. Pascal had his shot blocked 61 times this season. He was number 1. Fred was second. So, all right. Question number 10. Which Raptor played the most games this past season? Which one of the guys actually played 80 games this season? Nobody else played the whole season, and the most played by one of the Raptors was 80 games out of the 82. Who was that Raptor that got to appear in 80? Boucher is right. Raymond got it right off the top. That's right, Raymond. Good job, Raymond Jacob. And so you're just behind, but wrong. So don't worry, you don't get a foul. Sometimes being a little slow is good because you don't get your fouls. All right, question 11. Which Raptor, besides G League replacement players, now they're not counting on this, okay, which Raptor shot the best field goal percentage? There were a couple of G League guys that shot really well, but which one of the regular Raptors had that best field goal percentage for the Raptors this season? He shot 49.4. Alistair, I'm sorry, you got your 3rd foul. OG is wrong also, Sue, and G. Rahul said Champagne. That's it. I'm sorry, you're out. Rahul, you fouled out, buddy. You got enough wrong answers. You're out, bud. I'm sorry. Keep guessing. You guys are get there. This is actually another high usage person. There's your clue. High usage person shot the best field goal percentage for us. And that's actually really good that it was this guy that actually shot the best. Raymond saying Scotty, that's wrong. Raymond, I'm sorry, that's your 2nd strike. It's Pascal. G's got it. It is Pascal Siakam. He shot 49.4% from the field from field goals. That's really good that our high scorer was our best shooter also at the same time. That's a really good thing. Okay, question 12. Which Raptor players started the most games this past season? Which one of the Raptors started the most games? Not played the most games, because Chris didn't start, obviously. But which Raptor actually started in the most games this season? Alistair got it. It's Barnes. Yeah, it is Barnes. Barnes started the 74 games this season. And that is the right answer. Good job, Alistair, sneaking in there. Yeah, Pascal's a good guess on a lot of these answers, too. That is a true strategy to use. So, yeah, Scotty Barnes started 74 games this season. Good job. Question 13. All right, this is a clue at the beginning of this, guys. So really listen. Make room for which Raptor regular, non-G League, shot the best three-point percentage? Make room for which Raptor regular shot the best three-point percentage? That first part, make room, will give it away. That may be a helpful clue to some of our older people. OG is wrong, G. Sorry, that's Rahul, you've already fouled out. Fred is wrong, Alistair. Sorry. Tom Duke, you got your first foul. It's not Boucher. Listen to the first part of the clue. Make room for which Raptor regular shot the best three-point percentage? And this was also the same guy who shot the best three-point percentage in the playoffs. And if you remember the trivia from last week and that answer, you'll get the same answer here. Rahul's, no, it's not Achua. Precious is not right, Sue. I'm going to give you a foul for that. You got 4. It's make room for. No, it's not Gary, Alistair. That's 5 for you. Yuta is wrong, Tom. You got to make this is the person you would think would be our best three-point shooter percentage wise for the season, but he was for the playoffs and for the regular season, other than G League guys that I don't count, like Jawan Morgan and Tremont Waters. I don't count those guys. Kem, it is Kem. All right, Rahul, you technically fouled out, but I'm gonna give you. No, it's not Kem. Actually, you're wrong. It's not Kem. It isn't Kem. It was Kem for the playoffs. That's right. I have it wrong. It's not Kem, guys. And unfortunately, Alistair, you fouled out. I got the wrong guy. I got them confused. There's one other guy that it is. I thought it was Kem, but I was like, oh, yeah, no, it's not Kem. Make room for. You remember the old show, Danny Thomas? Sue, do you remember that show? Danny Thomas, Make Room for. It was the name of the show. And then that'll give away the person it is because of their nickname that we've been calling them. That's right. Sue got it. It's Make Room for Daddy. It's Thaddy Daddy. That's who it was. He won. He shot 39.5%. So Sue gets that one. Thaddy Daddy. That's right. That was the clue. All right. Good job. I'm glad Sue got that one. Okay. Number 14 on the list is which Raptor played the most minutes this past season? Who had the absolute most minutes as a Raptor? Who was on the court the most minutes this past season? And this is another high usage guy. G, Pascal's wrong. So that's your 5th foul. You get one more, you're out. Alistair, both you and Rahul are already out. Raymond, you get another foul. That's Fred is wrong. Sue, you're getting a foul too. It's Click got it. It's Scotty. That's right. It is Scotty Barnes. Good job, Click 2 a.m. He had 2,617 minutes this year. So good job, Click. Good job. All right, we've got 3 more questions, it looks like. So we will continue. Question number 15. Which Raptor shot the poorest free throw percentage for this past season? Who was our worst free throw shooter out of our regular players? Who shot the worst at the free throw line? The one that was making me so mad this season. Sue says Precious is wrong. Sorry, Sue. You fouled out, Sue. Rahul, you're wrong. Click, you get another foul. It's not Precious. You fouled out also. You know what? I'm about to make it a free-for-all. I'm Shanky. You got a foul there. It's Thaddeus. Yep, Raymond got it. It's Thaddeus Young. He shot 48.1% from the free throw line. Oh my gosh, that was really bad. He was pissing me off. I'm not gonna lie. He missed like 2 free throws in a row. Every time he got up there, it was Thaddeus. Yeah, best three-point shooter and worst free throw shooter on our team. It's so crazy. All right, the next one is question 16. There's 2 answers, so 2 different answers. Yeah, he barely took free throws, but when he did, he missed them, Rahul. He missed them all over the place. It's crazy. All right, you know what? Since so many people's fouled out and you guys are all just answering, I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys keep trying to answer. But if it's close, I might give it to somebody who has no fouls or hasn't fouled out yet because we have 4 people that have fouled out. Alistair, Click, Sue, and Rahul have all fouled out, but technically. But we'll let it slide a little bit. Okay, so the next question is, what 2 Raptors made the only 2 heave like long shots, half-court shots this season? What 2 Raptors made the only 2 heave half-court shots that we had this year? Like, I looked at that stat even. It's like, G's got Delano. Delano's one of them. That's right, G. Fred and Malachi are wrong. Rahul's got it. The other one is Barnes. It was Barnes and Banton that threw the 2 half-court shots this year that went in. So Rahul, you're getting 1 point for Barnes, and then G got Delano. So good job. The Delano one's very memorable. It's in the first game of the season against Washington, and then the one later with Scotty was pretty cool too. He didn't make it though, Malachi. I don't think he made it. Or maybe it wasn't. I mean, I think the heave thing is if it's in the last second or something. I'm not sure. I thought Malachi might have had one too, but the stats said that it was only those 2 guys. All right, let's keep going. Next question is last question, guys. So these are the last 100 points because there's 2 answers. Which 2 Raptors were tied for the most dunks this past season? They both had 67 dunks. Which 2 Raptors had the most dunks? Click saying you made a half-court buzzer beater. Yeah, Barnes is wrong, G. Pascal is wrong. Who had the most dunks? Rahul saying OG and Achua. Precious is one of them. So Rahul, you're getting points for Precious. Precious and Barnes. No, Precious is right, but the other one's not right yet. You guys have not answered the second person. Boucher. Tom Duke gets in there and gets Boucher at the end. It is Chris Boucher. Good job, Tom Duke. All right, that's all the trivia questions. Let me just add up the answers and see who got the most points today. All right. That was, pretty good. I'm going to do more in-depth stats this summer as far as things, but good job, guys. And I stuck to the foul thing a little bit, but this was a hard one. All right. So Raymond's got 1, 2, 3. Raymond Jacobs got 3, so he gets 150 points today. Alistair's got 1. Alistair got 1, so you get 50 points. Click got 1, 2, 3 for 150 points for Click 2 a.m. G got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. G got 6, so that's 300. Rich get richer. Mar Smith got 1, 50 points. I am Shanky got 50 points. Rahul got 100 points. And Tom got 50. And Sue got 50 too. Okay. All right. That's good. Okay. Well, hey, the family's here. Good to see the family. Thanks for playing trivia with me today. Tomorrow we're going to do a watch along, watching Game 5 of the 2001 series with Philadelphia and Toronto once again. And I don't necessarily watch the game. I just talk over it and have it in the background. And we do watch it a little bit and talk a little bit about it. But we'll basically just be talking general Raptors and NBA stuff for tomorrow, guys. But thanks for playing today. And I don't think anybody caught up on G to get this thing from him. Because the guy is just a very dominant trivia player, and get early on him next season, and maybe we can stop him from getting the next booby prize from the next trivia season. All right, guys, thanks again for being here this morning on a Tuesday. Hope everybody has a great day, and say no to a Rudy Gobert trade. That's what we're saying today. And congratulations, Nick Nurse, for getting a couple of votes for Coach of the Year. That's a big deal. That he's still getting recognized to a certain degree by certain people. I'd be really curious to find out who was the people that voted him second and third as far as things. All right, have a great Tuesday, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go Raptors. Yeah. Gee, have a